Deep beneath Russia's frozen ground lies a prehistoric megastructure older than any known civilization. Its walls are carved with precision no ancient tool could achieve, and its purpose remains unknown. Scientists are terrified, not by what they see, but by what they cannot explain. Something ancient is hiding below, and it defies all logic. Russia's mysterious mountain passage. In the southern part of Russia, there is a mysterious and beautiful land known as Kabardino-Balkaria. It is located within the North Caucasus mountain range and is home to some of Europe's tallest peaks, with Mount Elbrus standing more than 18,000 feet high. Even in the summer, the summit of Mount Elbrus remains covered in snow, shining under the sun like a protector of the ancient landscape. The region is filled with steep ridges, deep valleys, wide rivers, and thick forests where sunlight struggles to reach the ground. Kabardino-Balkaria has been recognized for many years as a stunning and rugged land. The landscape is challenging to navigate, and the inhabitants have been influenced by resilience and fortitude. Those who ventured through the Caucasus often depicted its raw power, its solitary charm, and the bravery of the local residents. Like the broader Caucasus region, Kabardino-Balkaria is a mix of various ethnic groups, each with unique traditions, languages, and cultural practices. Collectively, they have safeguarded numerous myths and tales that reveal the mysteries hidden within the towering mountains. The old folk tales of Kabardino-Balkaria aren't just about mountain spirits and ancient heroes. They also talk about mysterious things like hidden tunnels, endless caves, and underground cities that were supposedly constructed in ancient times. Some stories mention communities that used to live underground to escape from enemies, navigating dark tunnels that wound through the ground. Other tales describe long stone passageways that looked too perfect to be natural, suggesting they were crafted by skilled hands using advanced tools. These stories have been passed down through generations, shared around fires on chilly nights, preserved over centuries, and eventually documented in collections of local folklore. While some viewed these stories as just entertaining myths, a few people believed they held a deeper truth waiting to be discovered. In the 20th century, people became more interested in these stories. Explorers, scientists, and historians started looking at the Caucasus region to uncover the mysteries hidden in its mountains. During the Soviet era, many surveys were conducted in the area due to its abundance of natural resources like oil, minerals, and other valuable materials. Despite extensive mapping and research, large parts of the region remained unexplored and not well understood. Local residents kept the old stories alive, talking about narrow shafts going deep into the rock, passageways that seemed too perfect to be natural, and perfectly aligned stone blocks that looked like bricks. The mixture of traditional stories and mysterious natural formations caught the interest of scientists who were willing to blend scientific investigation with unknown phenomena. One of these researchers was Artur Jemukov, a Russian cave expert who had been intrigued by the hidden world underground since he was young. Jemukov dedicated a large portion of his life to exploring and researching caves throughout Russia, driven by a curiosity to discover what was hidden beneath the Earth's surface. By the end of the 2000s, Jemukov had become known for his relentless determination and courage, bravely venturing into some of the most isolated and hazardous areas in the country. Jemukov was different because he believed that ancient stories could have important information. While other scientists thought folklore was just made-up stories, he saw it as a helpful cause of clues. He liked to mix traditional stories with scientific information, thinking that by comparing them carefully, they could uncover some amazing discoveries. He also looked at old military documents from World War II, hoping to find hidden references that could relate to local legends. In 2011, Jemukov decided to focus on Mount Karora, an isolated peak in Kabardino-Balkaria. He made this decision on purpose after hearing stories from villagers about a mysterious vertical shaft in the mountains. Additionally, old reports from wartime indicated that German soldiers had shown curiosity in that same location during the Caucasus campaign in 1942. After considering these different pieces of information, Jemukov believed there was something strange hidden in those mountains. He didn't just want to find another cave, he wanted to see if the stories about man-made structures underground were true. He thought of the Caucasus as a place of both natural beauty and a storehouse of history, possibly holding clues to ancient civilizations. To achieve this goal, he got his gear, climbing tools, and a few dependable team members. They made sure to plan well, knowing the landscape would be tough and the trip would be hard. In 2011, Jemakov finally made it to Mount Korora after lots of preparation. He found something amazing on the rocky slope, a narrow vertical opening in the stone that had been hidden by vegetation and erosion for centuries. This opening was not big, but it went deep into the mountain in a straight line. Most cave entrances have a rough and uneven look, but this one was smooth and clean-cut, as if it had been intentionally carved. The hidden chamber, beneath Korora. Arur Jemakov stood in front of the narrow entrance at Korora, knowing that what was inside was not like a usual cave. The opening was small at the top but went down vertically into darkness. It seemed like it was man-made rather than natural. The shaft looked like it was intentionally carved straight into the mountain. Initial measurements suggested that it went down about 130 feet, almost as tall as a 12-story building. Jemakov and his team had to prepare carefully to safely reach the bottom. They made sure to secure ropes, check their climbing gear, and plan out each movement because one mistake could be deadly. The descent started slowly, with each climber carefully making their way down the vertical shaft. The air got colder as they went deeper, and the space became more confined. Their shoulders brushed against the smooth stone walls, and the ropes made creaking sounds from the tension. Although physically tiring, the peculiar surroundings made them forget about their exhaustion. Unlike natural caves, the walls were flat, straight, and incredibly smooth. In the dim light of their headlamps, the stone surfaces gleamed faintly with no signs of the usual jagged features caused by water or molten rock. The lines on the walls were perfectly parallel, clean, and uniform. As the team delved deeper into the shaft, it became increasingly clear that this was not a natural formation. The sides of the shaft were meticulously crafted, reflecting light in a precise manner that created distinct shadows. Every aspect of the shaft seemed carefully planned and measured. Even Jemakov, an experienced cave explorer, was taken aback by what he saw. The team continued their descent for over an hour, completely focused on the task at hand. The seemingly endless vertical drop created a tense atmosphere, with the sound of ropes sliding and metal clasps clicking echoing throughout the confined space. The risk of a small mistake leading to a dangerous fall loomed large, as the narrow shaft provided little room for error recovery. At last, after what seemed like a very long time, their flashlights made it to the bottom, and what they saw made them stop moving. The small passage they were in suddenly led to a large underground room. The sudden change in size was so surprising that they stopped and stared at what was in front of them. The room spread out in all directions, and the ceiling was almost 120 feet tall, towering above them like the inside of a cathedral. It wasn't a small, hidden space. It was a large area underground, closed off from the world above. Their flashlights revealed more incredible details. The walls were not made of rough, scattered stone, but of huge rectangular blocks. Each block had smooth sides and sharp corners, fitting together perfectly. Some blocks were so big they were believed to weigh over 200 tons, much heavier than expected in a mountain. However, they were arranged neatly in perfect order. The joints between them were so precise that it was difficult to see where one block ended and another began. The explorers were amazed by how perfectly the blocks fit together. It appeared as though the stones were intentionally placed, with no gaps whatsoever. As the team explored the chamber, they saw more features. Some of the stone blocks were upright like pillars, appearing to hold up the high ceiling. These column-like shapes made the place feel sturdy and well-planned. There were narrow passages branching off from the main hall, but they were tight and hard to get into. Even the smallest team member had trouble squeezing through. The walls in these corridors were smooth, and the corners where they met were precise and sharp. The team realized these were deliberate cuts, not natural cracks in the rock, the more they examined them. The whole chamber had a feeling of exactness and importance that couldn't be overlooked. Everything in it looked straight, level, and intentional. Most caves in nature have uneven floors, curved tunnels, and irregular shapes from erosion. But in Korora, there were no such features. Instead, every surface seemed made on purpose, every edge carefully measured. It was as if people had shaped the mountain a long time ago. even though there was no evidence of that in the area. However, there was also a sense of danger present alongside the wonder. They had already spent over an hour climbing down, and the journey back up would be even more challenging. The vertical drop above them mandated absolute focus and strength to ascend, as any mistake could have fatal consequences. Despite being spectacular, the chamber was not a secure location. It lacked natural light, had minimal air circulation, and only had one narrow exit. The atmosphere was stagnant, oppressive, and quiet, intensifying the stress on the explorers. Every noise, whether it was the sound of water dripping or their equipment shifting, seemed to reverberate endlessly throughout the vast space. Standing in the dim light of their lamps, Arur Jamukov and his team discovered something more extraordinary than just a cave. The mysterious Karahora shaft. When word got out about the Karahora shaft, it caught the interest of researchers, explorers, and historians right away. Many people were quick to liken this mysterious structure to the Great Pyramid of Giza, one of the most remarkable ancient wonders in the world. The clean, straight walls discovered deep in the Caucasus Mountains brought to mind the grand gallery of the pyramid, where massive stone blocks were fitted together with remarkable accuracy and nearly invisible seams. Could they have shared advanced architectural knowledge across great distances in the distant past? Is it possible that there was a connection between these civilizations that we have since forgotten? As researchers discussed these ideas, new theories emerged regarding the actual function of the Karahora shaft. Some experts proposed that it could have been a component of a bigger underground structure intended to serve as a ventilation system. Others thought that it wasn't meant for human use, but instead as an energy passage or chamber that could control sound or natural forces in mysterious ways that are still unknown to science. Some researchers had more bold ideas. They suggested that the Karahora shaft may have been the foundation of a huge pyramid that either fell down or got buried. According to this belief, what we see now could be the solid base of a large structure that was once visible. In addition, some thought the shaft could have been an ancient generator that drew energy from the earth. These ambitious theories could not be ignored because the surfaces of the shaft were smooth, with geometric angles and near-perfect symmetry that did not look natural. Instead, they implied a purpose and design that went beyond what could be explained by geology. The mystery of Karahora became more interesting when researchers investigated events from World War II. In the 1930s and 1940s, high-ranking Nazis became fascinated with occult beliefs and ancient myths. Heinrich Himmler, leader of the SS, started a group called the Ahnenerbe. While it was supposed to study the ancestry of the Aryan race, its true purpose was to explore ancient legends, secret traditions, and lost civilizations worldwide. The Ahnenerbe organization sent research teams to locations such as Tibet and the Middle East in search of a mythical land known as Shambhala. Legend says that Shambhala was a hidden underground kingdom where ancient knowledge and advanced technology were safeguarded by an ancient civilization. The leaders of Nazi Germany believed that discovering this mysterious place could not only validate their beliefs, but also grant them access to supernatural powers that could aid them in their quest for victory in the war. In 1942, the German army started Operation Edelweiss to take over the oil-rich Caucasus region. The operation was supposed to secure fuel supplies for the German military, but some think it had a secret motive. Some researchers say the Nazis were also looking for ancient sites linked to their mysterious beliefs in the region. During that time, there were reports of swastika carvings found on rocks near Karahora Peak, close to the entrance of the shaft. The exact meaning of these symbols is still unclear. Some think they were just markings made by soldiers to mark their territory, while others believe they were linked to occult studies done by Nazi teams in the mountains. Regardless, the presence of these carvings added an eerie new element to the mystery, hinting that the Germans may have been at the site long before it was rediscovered by modern explorers. The swastika found near Karahora has historical significance. This symbol has been around for a long time in various parts of the world before the Nazis used it. In Central Asia and the Caucasus, the swastika has been a symbol of life, energy, and nature's cycles for thousands of years. Archaeological discoveries and local stories in the area have talked about ancient civilizations thriving in the mountains in ancient times. Many people believe that having both old and new swastikas in the same location is not a coincidence. They think that Kara could have been important for a long time, connected to ancient builders with advanced knowledge and modern groups trying to reveal their secrets. The Kara shaft is a mysterious archaeological site that has puzzled experts for years. Its unusual design goes against traditional explanations. Its past is shrouded in wartime secrecy, and its true purpose remains a mystery. The shaft that refused to be explained. The strong resemblance between the Kara shaft and ancient Egyptian structures led to widespread speculation. People began to wonder if the builders of the shaft had learned from the Egyptians, which raised doubts about what we thought we knew about ancient history. Could they have shared advanced architectural knowledge across great distances in the distant past? Is it possible that there was a connection between these civilizations that we have since forgotten? As researchers discussed these ideas, new theories emerged regarding the actual function of the Kara shaft. Some experts proposed that it could have been a component of a bigger underground structure intended to serve as a ventilation system. Others thought that it wasn't meant for human use, but instead as an energy passage or chamber that could control sound or natural forces in mysterious ways that are still unknown to science. Some researchers had more bold ideas. They suggested that the Kara shaft may have been the foundation of a huge pyramid that either fell down or got buried. According to this belief, what we see now could be the solid base of a large structure that was once visible. In addition, some thought the shaft could have been an ancient generator that drew energy from the earth. These ambitious theories could not be ignored because the surfaces of the shaft were smooth, with geometric angles and near-perfect symmetry that did not look natural. Instead, they implied a purpose and design that went beyond what could be explained by geology. The mystery of Kara became more interesting when researchers investigated events from World War II. In the 1930s and 1940s, high-ranking Nazis became fascinated with occult beliefs and ancient myths. Heinrich Himmler, leader of the SS, started a group called the Unanserbe. While it was supposed to study the ancestry of the Aryan race, its true purpose was to explore ancient legends, secret traditions, and lost civilizations worldwide. The Unanserbe organization sent research teams to locations such as Tibet and the Middle East in search of a mythical land known as Shambhala. Legend says that Shambhala was a hidden underground kingdom where ancient knowledge and advanced technology were safeguarded by an ancient civilization. The leaders of Nazi Germany believed that discovering this mysterious place could not only validate their beliefs, but also grant them access to supernatural powers that could aid them in their quest for victory in the war. In 1942, the German army started Operation Edelweiss to take over the oil-rich Caucasus region. The operation was supposed to secure fuel supplies for the German military, but some think it had a secret motive. Some researchers say the Nazis were also looking for ancient sites linked to their mysterious beliefs in the region. During that time, there were reports of swastika carvings found on rocks near Kara Peak, close to the entrance of the shaft. The exact meaning of these symbols is still unclear. Some think they were just markings made by soldiers to mark their territory, while others believe they were linked to occult studies done by Nazi teams in the mountains. Regardless, the presence of these carvings added an eerie new element to the mystery, hinting that the Germans may have been at the site long before it was rediscovered by modern explorers. The swastika found near Kara has historical significance. This symbol has been around for a long time in various parts of the world before the Nazis used it. In Central Asia and the Caucasus, the swastika has been a symbol of life, energy, and nature's cycles for thousands of years. Archaeological discoveries and local stories in the area have talked about ancient civilizations thriving in the mountains in ancient times. Many people believe that having both old and new swastikas in the same location is not a coincidence. They think that Kara could have been important for a long time, connected to ancient builders with advanced knowledge and modern groups trying to reveal their secrets. The Kara shaft is a mysterious archaeological site that has puzzled experts for years. Its unusual design goes against traditional explanations. Its past is shrouded in wartime secrecy, and its true purpose remains a mystery. The terrifying mystery of Russia's prehistorics. Scientists are afraid of the prehistoric underground megastructure in Russia, not just because of what it is, but because of what it could signify. The discussion about the Carora shaft revolves around whether it was built by people or created naturally, and what this could tell us about Earth's history. Both options are troubling and raise unanswered questions for science. If the shaft is man-made, it could indicate something even more incredible than anticipated. It suggests that a mysterious ancient civilization may have thrived in the Caucasus region long before Egypt or Mesopotamia. The sheer size of the structure is mind-boggling. In the chamber, there are massive blocks that weigh over 200 tons. The walls appear to be smooth and polished, as though they were crafted with advanced tools. Creating something with such precise detail would have wanted more than just physical strength. It would have mandated advanced technology like machines, tools, and engineering expertise, which were not believed to exist during ancient times. The precise cutting and fitting of these large blocks suggests a mastery of techniques that were thought to be developed much later. This concept challenges our current understanding of when complex engineering practices first began. If people constructed this underground building, it would disrupt our understanding of the history of civilization. It suggests that significant parts of human history have disappeared, times of progress and creativity that were forgotten before the first written civilizations existed. This idea alone challenges the core of archaeology and history. The mystery deepens because there is no evidence to support it. Archaeologists usually find signs of life or activity in ancient sites, such as pottery, tools, carvings, or soot from torches. However, none of these have been found in Carora. There are no tools, artifacts, or markings of daily use. It seems as though the place was never intended for people to live in. The lack of contents makes the structure seem even more mysterious. If people made it, it wasn't meant to be a house, tomb, or mine. The design seems purposeful but not for everyday living. It might have had a technical or practical purpose that we don't know yet. For some researchers, the absence of normal signs is more unsettling than finding them would have been. It hints at intention and intelligence, but of a kind we can't grasp. If the Carora shaft is not man-made but natural, it adds to the mystery. While a natural explanation may seem reassuring at first, it also presents challenges. Geologists know how caves and tunnels are formed by processes like water erosion, tectonic activity, and volcanic flows. However, none of these processes can account for the perfectly straight walls, sharp corners, and tightly fitting blocks observed in the Carora shaft. Even though natural patterns like basalt columns might look geometric, they are not as precise or smooth. These formations are rough and uneven despite their striking appearance. In comparison, the Carora shaft displays alignment and features that resemble man-made construction rather than any natural process. It does not fit into any recognized category of natural formation. If the shaft was created naturally, it would be a new and unfamiliar geological occurrence that has never been seen before anywhere in the world. This finding would question our current knowledge of rock formations and how the Earth's crust works. It would suggest that our planet might be able to create formations that we don't yet comprehend. This is why scientists are disturbed by the Carora shaft. It doesn't fit neatly into any explanations we already have. If people made it, we have to rethink history. If it formed on its own, we have to question the basics of geology. Both options leave big holes in our understanding, which can be challenging for science since it shows how much we still don't know about our world. Some researchers are worried about what they might find if they dig deeper. They want to know who built the structure and where they went. They also wonder why there are no signs of the builders elsewhere. If the structure is natural, they are curious about the forces that could shape rock so precisely. They are also wondering if these forces could be found in other places underground. In both situations, the consequences are unsettling. Each potential solution leads to more questions than it solves. The silent mystery of the Carora. Research on the Carora shaft has come to a halt today. Many people thought that scientists, archaeologists, or government organizations would investigate the site after early explorations. However, those hopes gradually diminished. No official or verified studies have been released. There are no detailed maps, peer-reviewed articles, or official scientific surveys that could give us insights into what's below the surface. This lack of thorough research has kept Carora out of the spotlight, leading to a mysterious silence that intrigues the public and disappoints scientists. Scientists are hindered by the lack of support from institutions, which hinders progress. They are unable to draw conclusions without data. However, for the public, this lack of information has intensified the mystery. The uncertainty has transformed Carora into a hub for imagination and speculation. Each unanswered question leads to new theories, fueling curiosity even more. The only things left today are bits and pieces of what was once thought to be a promising discovery. Photographs taken by Alexander Splashnoff reveal geometric shapes and very smooth surfaces deep inside the shaft. Some people think these shapes are too perfect to occur naturally, while others believe they could still be created by natural geological processes. The stories linked to Arur Jamukov, the man who initially investigated the shaft, and the tragedies that came after his discovery are also part of the narrative. These tales intertwine with the long-standing local legends in the Caucasus region about ancient underground cities constructed by civilizations that have faded into history. Altogether, these pieces create a captivating but unfinished picture. Currently, the majority of the discussion about Carora takes place on the internet. People use various platforms to talk about and examine all the evidence related to it. Some believe that Carora is an old structure built by humans using advanced methods much earlier than what is known in history. On the other hand, there are people who doubt this and think it is just a strange natural formation. Both sides share their own interpretations of a few photos, descriptions, and limited information available. As a result, Carora is still talked about through pictures, stories passed down verbally, and ongoing online conversations that keep the mystery alive. If scientists were to confirm that Carora is man-made, it would have a huge impact. It would become the biggest ancient structure ever found, bigger and more complicated than any others. The massive underground blocks would make experts reconsider the history of humanity. The finding would change the timeline of advanced technology by thousands of years, challenging what we know about early civilizations. Schools, museums, and textbooks would need to update the story of human development. Long before Egypt, Mesopotamia, or any other ancient civilization, there were skilled builders who were as good as or even better than today's engineers. This finding would shock archaeologists and make us rethink how humans have evolved over time. We would wonder who these builders were, how they built with such precision, and why their society disappeared without a trace. It would make us question everything we thought we knew about history and human progress. However, despite the lack of evidence and explanation surrounding Carora, its impact remains significant. Throughout history, humans have always been intrigued by things that are not easily comprehensible. The mysteries of the pyramids in Egypt, the statues on Easter Island, and the ancient ruins of Stonehenge all continue to captivate our minds. Although Carora may not reach the same level of renown, it serves a similar purpose in sparking curiosity and fascination. It symbolizes the eternal human quest to discover, inquire, and dream about the unknown depths of the earth. Carora is considered special by many because of the unanswered questions it poses. The mystery surrounding it is more significant than any specific answer because it highlights the vastness of our world and the many unknowns that still exist. Carora, located in the Caucasus Mountains, signifies human curiosity, fear, and imagination. Whether it is a natural formation or man-made, it serves as a reminder of how much we still have to discover about our planet and our past. Not being aware of something can keep the search going. It helps to keep our minds open and our hearts curious. The mystery of Carora still raises the question that has always been asked: what is hidden underneath, and how does it affect us?